here's a nice shape. It's a trapezium, and you can see with this red line here is perpendicular to this base. So I'm going to make the red line my height, and I'm going to make the 7.6 the base. Okay, so I can turn it. I mean, the easiest way to turn it. By the way, this is the turning button, and that's the stretching button. It's really called the dilatation button. All right, so that's for rotations, and that's for dilatations, which means making something bigger or smaller. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is click. I'm going to, on the iPad, click on the rotation button, and then rotate the shape. Okay, and then to make it here, and then if I unclick that, I can drag it to wherever I want it. I'm just going to drag it to the center of the screen. Click on the dilatation button, and there's a little tiny plus sign. It's kind of faint. If you drag it towards that plus sign, it shrinks. If you drag it away from the plus sign with the dilatation button on, it grows. Okay, so bigger, smaller. Okay, bigger. All right, so I'm going to unselect the dilatation button, and I'm just going to drag it over here. All right, so there's my shape. Okay, I could maybe rotate it a little bit better, but that's fine for our purposes. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to, the area is the average of the bases. So it's little base plus big base divided by 2 times the height. All right, so let's fill in what we know. So the little base is 2.7 kilometers. So this is huge. So 2.7 kilometers. And the big base is 7.6 kilometers. Divide all that by 2 and times the height. Make sure you're getting the decimals correct. So times the height, which is 8 kilometers. All right, so we start off with our formula. Always write your formula first. That's your first step. Your second step is to replace the values. Third step is to do your calculator work. Fourth step, answer. Okay, so it's handy dandy calculator time. So 2.7 plus 7.6 all divided by 2 times 8. 41.2. So that is equal to 41.2 kilometers squared. We're talking about area. Areas are, little flat things, right? And the easiest way to make flat things are with little squares. So think that. Remember, whenever you're talking area, you have to put the units squared. So 41.2 kilometers squared. Let's go into the math program. So 41.2 space kilometers squared. Okay, by the way, here's the space button, and here's the square button. All right, and that's it. And I press enter. Yay, and there's another question. Okay, just remember you always have to rotate the shape. I never give it to you with the red line being vertical. You want the red line to be vertical. It's going to be your height, right? But you have to get used to seeing the two parallel sides as being the up and down. Okay, the top and bottom, the bases. Okay, the non-parallel sides, they're just sides. We call them slant heights. All right. So for this shape, now we just move it like that. And then let's go find out the area of this. So the formula for the area of a trapezium is the area is the average of the bases. So little base plus big base divided by 2, and then that multiplied by the height. All right, so the little base is 3.4. plus the big base, which is 7.6, and that's all being divided by 2 times the height, which is 2.9. Divided by 2, so the average of the bases times the height. So 15.95. And what are our units? Millimeters. So this is a little tiny trapezium. Okay, so let's look at the big picture. All right, so the first thing we do is we write down our formula. Okay, here's our formula. Always write the formula down. Then your second step is to fill in what you know. Third step is calculator. Okay, and fourth step is your answer. Making sure you put the right units. All right, let's go put that into our perimeter and area program. So 15.95 space millimeters squared, like that. All right? Yay!